Good morning, Riley with Chronicles of Liberty. Video number 20, the Constitution and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Many of you who have watched the first 7 videos recognize that the first videos in it are about the Book of Mormon, and my faith is as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And take it for what it's worth, but this is what I believe. But what I hear a lot of nowadays is, even within my own church, people that are losing their belief in and understanding of the Constitution. Why it's important. What does it matter to them? And this video in particular is dedicated to the members of our church that may be in that realm of thought. And what I want to do in today's video is I want to go from the beginning of the church, and I want to read what each prophet have said from the beginning to now about the Constitution of the United States. I want to start first with a statement from Harold B. Lee, and he says this: to the membership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Constitution of the United States is as a tree of liberty, under whose cooling branches one might find a haven from the scorching sun of turmoil and oppression, and have his rights protected according to just and holy principles. To them, the Constitution was established by the hands of wise men, whom God raised up for this very purpose, and they devoutly believe that if it should be in danger of being overthrown, their lives, if need be, are to be offered in defense of its principles. Joseph Smith said, "Come all you lovers of liberty, break the oppressor's rod, loose the iron grasp of mobocracy, and bring to condign punishment all those who trample underfoot the glorious Constitution and the people's rights." Brigham Young said, "If there is a people within the pales of this nation that is worthy of the Constitution, good laws, and institutions of the American government, it is this people called the Latter-day Saints. It is the best earthly government that ever was framed by man, and the true and righteous are alone worthy of it. It cannot long be administered by wicked hands. When the wicked rule, the people mourn." John Taylor said, "Let us guard, as patriots and the freemen, operate together in the defense of what few liberties are left us, in the defense of the Constitution, and in the defense of the inalienable rights of man, which rights always exist and are before and above all constitutions, and thus perpetuate to posterity the inestimable blessings of freedom, including the right to live, the right to be free, and the right to pursue happiness, unmolested by any influence, power, or combination." Wilford Woodruff said, "The Lord has spoken concerning our government and Constitution, and he has said, 'Ye are justified in maintaining the Constitution and the laws of the land, for they make you free, and the gospel maketh you free. And you shall seek to sustain good and wise men for rulers, and whatsoever is more or less than this cometh of evil. The laws of heaven command us not to uphold and sustain men, except they are good men, who will sustain the Constitution of our country." Lorenzo Snow said, "We trace the hand of the Almighty in framing the Constitution of our land, and believe that the Lord raised up men purposely for the accomplishment of this project, raised them up and inspired them to frame the Constitution of the United States." Joseph F. Smith said, "I believe in the Constitution of the United States. I believe in the principles which that instrument promulgates. The freedom of mankind to do right, to worship God according to the dictates of their own conscience, freedom to pursue their way in peace and to observe and maintain their rights, their freedoms, and their liberties, and justly recognize and equally preserve and defend their rights, freedom, and liberty of their neighbors and of their fellow beings." Heber J. Grant, "We again warn our people in America of the constantly increasing threat against our inspired Constitution and our free institutions set up under it. The same political tenets and philosophies that have brought war and terror in other parts of the world are at work amongst us in America." George Albert Smith said, "I say to you, sustain the Constitution of the United States, and let not our voices be heard among those that deride or would violate the Constitution that is so important for us and for all men." David O. McKay said, Church members are at perfect liberty to act according to their own consciences, in the manner of safeguarding our way of life. The church does not yield any of its devotion to or convictions about safeguarding the American principles and the establishments of government under federal and state constitutions, and the civil rights of men safeguarded by these. We therefore commend and encourage every person and every group who is sincerely seeking to study constitutional principles and awaking a sleeping and apathetic people to the alarming conditions that are rapidly advancing about us. We have suggested also that you should support candidates who pledge their sincere fidelity to our liberty. Joseph Fielding Smith said, "The wisdom of these provisions in the constitutions which protect the liberties and inherent rights of the citizens should be apparent to all. They should be guarded and protected with a jealous care. The Constitution is our assurance against anarchy and despotism. Every Latter-day Saint should be familiar with every part of this great document. Such knowledge is essential to an understanding of the significance of the word of the Lord in the Doctrine and Covenants." Harold B. Lee said, "We urge members of the church and all Americans to begin now to reflect more intently on the meaning and importance of the Constitution and of adherence to its principles." Spencer W. Kimball said, "The only way we can keep our freedom is to work at it. Not some of us, all of us. Not some of the time, but all of the time. So if you value your citizenship and you want to keep it for yourself and your children and their children, give it your faith, your belief, and give it your active support in civic affairs." Ezra Taft Benson, one of the greats, there's all kinds of stuff, but I picked this. "I say to you with all the fervor of my soul that God intended men to be free. Rebellion against tyranny is a righteous cause. It is an enormous evil for any man to be enslaved to any system contrary to his own will. For that reason, 200 years ago, men pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. No nation which has kept the commandments of God has ever perished. But I say to you that once freedom is lost, only blood, human blood, will win it back." Gordon B. Hinckley said, "The Constitution under which we live, and which has not only blessed us, but has become a model for other constitutions, is our God-inspired national safeguard, ensuring freedom and liberty, justice and equality before the law." He said in a different address, "We are involved in an intense battle. It is a battle between right and wrong, between truth and error, between the designs of the Almighty on the one hand and that of Lucifer on the other. For that reason, we desperately need moral men and women who stand on principle to be involved in the political process. Otherwise, we abdicate power to those whose designs are almost entirely selfish." Thomas S. Monson says, "Do your duty in all things. You cannot do more. You should never wish to do less. Honor is akin to duty. It is an expression of our inner selves, a commitment to do that which is right. When we safeguard the heavenly virtue of freedom, when we honor it, when we protect it, we will walk with Washington, we will pray with patriots, and we shall have peace on earth and goodwill to men." I'll conclude with this quote from Joseph Smith. He said this, "If I lose my life in a good cause, I am willing to be sacrificed on the altar of virtue, righteousness, and truth in maintaining the laws and the Constitution of the United States, if need be, for the general good of mankind." And I feel the same. Jus meum tabor.